Hello, and welcome to South of Left Field. My name is Jimmy. I come to you today without any specific topic in mind. It's going to be a bit of a ramble, and I guess we'll just see where it goes. There's a lot that's on my mind. There's a lot that's been going on this last week. Some of the larger items is that we are probably going to pass 100,000 people that we know of having been killed by the COVID virus. And in the face of that, of course, our country is going to have to start resuming some economic activities. I know that the vaccine is a year to a year and a half, they say, off, and everybody's full of positivity, but the truth of the matter is you don't know when it's coming. It may actually be a year and a half, could be 2 years, and we just can't all shelter in place for 2 years and survive. People got to eat. Been a lot of tragedy in the news. I guess what hits me the hardest, I watched videos of a man who was killed by a police officer that put him down on the ground. Of course, the man was helpless. There was no chance that he was going to fight back or threaten anybody, really. Held him down with a knee on his throat till he died. And despite all protestations and the fact that the individual was not lifting a finger of resistance, simply kept kneeling, apparently waiting for him to die. The video also about the young jogger shot to death. I guess the thing that I'm struggling with is, what does this say about us as Americans? I mean, I talk about the 10%, I talk about the 90%, I talk about America being made up of Americans. And as I think about the issues that we have been confronting over the last years, the picture that we are seeing painted in front of us is not a good one. I don't know of any other country in the world that will sit by and watch children slaughtered in their school, even in elementary school, and the country not lift a finger to try to prevent something like that from happening again. People butchered in a movie theater. Oh well. I mean, this is not an issue of sign-carrying outrage only. What kind of people are we? I mean, I know. The two main parties, our upper class, completely control our federal and state houses. Pardon me. Allergies. And yet, there's no uprising in the voting population. Our leadership reflects who we are, whether we like it or not. If we as a general population tolerate them, if we tolerate a lack of justice, if we simply lay down and tolerate allowing police forces to exist that kill between 1,000 and 2,000 citizens a year, numbers far exceeding per capita any other real country. I mean, for that matter, I don't even think, hell, even Russia, I don't think kills that many of its own citizens. To watch men, women, children, families, grade schools gunned down. That shooter in Texas that opened fire on a outdoor concert. And we have a vocal minority that howls to the moon because they don't want guns taken away. And yet it is from that minority that all of these murderers are coming. We actually have more terrorism inside our society of our own making than we do external terrorism. We spend a fortune, the military all over the world, saying, oh, we've got to keep the terrorists away. And we ignore the terrorists Young man walks into a church, sits in with a Bible study, then pulls out a gun and starts butchering people. Unarmed people in a church. Doesn't even know who they are, doesn't even care. Just doesn't like the color of the skin. Bang, bang, bang. Same with synagogue. So what does this say about us? That we sit around and watch members of our own society just casually strolling into movie theaters, churches, synagogues, elementary schools, high schools. Doesn't matter. Just walk in and start killing people. It's the American way. And there is no effort made by the ruling class, by our upper class, who occupy all of the state houses in the federal government. Not one movement of any significance. Not the least effort to lift a finger and say, oh, we should protect our citizens so that they feel safe. This is how we defend our right to the pursuit of life, liberty, and happiness. We include the happiness of people who enjoy murdering large numbers of other people. Whatever makes them happy, right? Yeah, I'm being pretty sarcastic. It's a deeply disturbing thing. And I think in some regards it's only exacerbated by the increasing poverty and hopelessness that we all are very gradually having to come to face. This is supposed to be an educated, admirable, free democracy. You don't see the children of the wealthy getting butchered in these schools. You don't see the wealthy getting butchered in churches and synagogues. You don't see the wealthy killed in theaters. Apparently, they don't have to worry about it. They're cosseted, they're protected, just like they were when the pandemic struck. 100,000 citizens dead. You know, I have not seen the name of one single millionaire in the lists of death from COVID. They're all deeply isolated, well supplied. Anything they want to eat, anything they want to drink, any medical care. Oh, I feel like having a COVID test today. Snap your finger, get one. I'm sure that's the way it works. In their gated communities, surrounded by their security, their guards. Why in the world do we simply lay down and allow ourselves to become this way? Defies my understanding. There is nothing other than the concerted action of a significant majority of the general population of America that is going to be able to do anything to reverse this. Now, I know that there's a lot of people out there and they say they actively vote and they have their representatives and they're committed to them, but sad to say, none of your representatives are doing a damn thing about what I'm talking about. If this picture that I'm drawing of America hurts you in any way, then it shows that at least you don't want America to be like this. I don't want America to be like this. The upper class and the politicians will not lift a finger in our defense against poverty. They will not lift a finger in our defense against epidemics of disease or health issues. They will not lift their fingers in any way to defend us against mass murderers and terrorist attacks. Why? because these things cost money. I mean, we just turned around and poof, kicked out $3 trillion without winking an eye. And it was supposed to help us, help all of us, get through this lockdown, this pandemic. And yet our billionaires are gaining wealth, billions upon billions, hand over fist. Top 10 billionaires got some $200+ billion in profit. Greater profit. Many of our people are trying not to starve to death, and they're getting richer. That tells you where the money's going. It tells you where the wealth is flowing. And it's the lack of wealth that hurts us all. It hurts us through the desperation that it produces in people. It generates a desire to escape into drugs. It generates the hopeless, empty human beings who pick up a gun and kill simply because it's a way of doing something. See my pain. Count the dead bodies, I guess. No, this is not meant to inspire. Today is not meant to inspire. Today is not meant to encourage a change. Today is simply me trying to get through to whoever cares to listen and ask you to look at these things and try to get a grip on why we are this way. And if you say to yourself, oh, I'm not going to take a gun and I'm not going to kill people, well, you're not going to stop anybody either, are you? The only change that is ever going to be made in our government and the laws that we live under, the only change that is ever going to be made to the structure of our society to make us a better people, a safer people, and a stronger people must come from us in the lower class. The upper class doesn't want it because it would cost them some of their standing and it would cost them some of their wealth. Because the only way our lives will improve economically is if theirs declines. And the only way we're going to be able to fund improvements and pass laws to protect us is going to be if we take the government from them, because they aren't doing the job. From south of left field, comments of one man who's troubled and sad. Please like, please share. Thank you for listening.